Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So Tesla were down 5% when the market opened today. I think they're fighting back now, sitting at about 3.5%, 4% down. But why? Well, we've got another article. Is this just some more FUD? US opens formal safety probe into some 765,000 Tesla vehicles. So the NHTSA, which is the regulatory body for Traffic and Safety Administration in the US, are investigating Tesla models Y, X, S, and 3 between 2014 and 2021 for accidents relating to emergency vehicles. So what they're saying here is it appears that Tesla models have encountered first responder scenes and subsequently struck one or more of those vehicles involved with the scene. So I think what they're saying here is emergency vehicles, the first responders are getting to the site, they're closing the road off, and Tesla vehicles on autopilot are carrying on and just hitting these cars due to drivers not paying attention. It said it had reports of 17 injuries and 1 death in those crashes. The NHTSA said that 11 crashes included 4 this year, most recently 1 last month in San Diego, and like I said, they're investigating all 4 of those vehicles. So this could mean 765,000 Tesla vehicles being investigated. It's very interesting. So the NHTSA has in recent years sent numerous special crash investigation teams to review a series of Tesla crashes. It said most incidents took place after dark, interesting, and crash scenes encountered included measures like emergency vehicle lights, flares, or road cones. Okay, could this give us a clue in terms of how the algorithms and the AI is working? Could the lights be throwing the sensors off? Is it an edge case which hasn't been covered by the team? This will be interesting. We'll find out. The NHTSA said its investigation will assess the technologies and methods used to monitor, assist, and enforce the driver's engagement. Important point here. So remember, they're saying that it is the driver's responsibility because we know these aren't full autonomous cars, right? The drivers are still supposed to pay attention when autopilot is switched on. Tesla make that very clear. But I think where the NHTSA are going to come from is to say, what are Tesla doing to enforce the driver's engagement? So what are you doing to make sure the driver's paying attention, therefore putting that responsibility back on Tesla? Interesting. Because the NHTSA could demand a recall, it must first decide to upgrade a preliminary investigation into an engineering analysis. Okay, very interesting. So they've got the power to be able to call and enforce a recall on Tesla models. So they're investigating all 4 models, and if they do find that there is a systematic error, they can enforce a recall. Autopilot, which handles some driving tasks and allows drivers to keep their hands off the wheel, was operating at least 3 Tesla vehicles involved in the fatal US crashes since 2016, the NTSB said. So this is interesting because obviously the NTSB, the NHTSA, we know with the NTSB, they played a big part in making sure aviation became successful over time. Anytime there was an accident, NTSB on site, find out the cause of the issue. Was it human error? Was it structural error? Was it an issue with the build of the plane? And then they would put for a report, which then meant everybody was learning and improving the systems going forward. So I think this is absolutely the right way to go about this. If any of you haven't read Black Box Thinking, I highly suggest you go and read that book. That will help you understand that if all industries went down the same route of how we deal with air crashes and find out the issues and solve resolutions, industries will move forward far quicker. So I'm actually quite pleased to be seeing this kind of approach in the autonomous driving space. Even as a heavy Tesla investor, it's not great for the stock. We're down 4%. There's a possibility they may find something and they could enforce a recall. Fine, I get it. But in the long-term view of ensuring autonomous driving is right over the next 10, 15 years, it's important that we learn from every single crash, no different to how we learned for airline safety, and that has become one of the safest transport measures we have. Interesting. So the NTSB has criticized Tesla's lack of system safeguards. It's the thing, you've not put enough in place for drivers to pay attention. So Andre Karpathy identified a challenge for its autopilot system. He's the director of AI, the autopilot and autonomous driving. How to recognize when a parked police car's emergency flashing lights are turned on. So they knew this was an issue. They've identified, but the question is, have they put a fix in place? And if they haven't, why haven't they? This is an example of a new task we would like to know about, Karpathy said at a conference. Okay, in one of the cases, a doctor was watching a movie on a phone when his vehicle rammed into a state trooper in North Carolina. So this is exactly what we don't want to hear. This is the kind of FUD that's really going to not only affect Tesla, but affect our ability to allow autonomous vehicles to become ubiquitous quickly. We really need people to be responsible, but at the same time, we need to account for all types of people, and there will be people that don't follow instructions and sit watching a movie on autopilot when they know they shouldn't. Tesla refused to comment. In June, the NHTSA said it had sent teams to review 30 Tesla crashes involving 10 deaths where it is suspected advanced driver assistance systems were suspected of use. Okay, a lot of suspecting going on there. In a statement, the NHTSA reminded drivers no commercially available motor vehicles today are capable of driving themselves. Fine. So look, guys, I think that's where we are at now. Look, they're gonna probe and take a look at these vehicles and try to see if they can find anything. That's what their job is. Not great for the Tesla stock right now, but I think long term this is good for the space. We need to be investigating these crashes. We need to be finding what the resolutions are, because I think if we do have an independent body studying these crashes like the NTSB, NHTSA, they will more often than not find out that there is human error. And if we can find out there is human error and train that error, then we're less likely to keep having to just assume Tesla's made this mistake in their AI. And if they have made a mistake in the AI, then at least we can go ahead and resolve those issues moving forward. And that's the key here. It needs to be a closed feedback loop where we continue to learn. No different to the airline industry, which has progressively gotten safer and safer over the decades. So there you have it, guys. That's the update on why Tesla is falling as we're speaking right now. Can they shrug it off through the rest of the day? It's going to be difficult because, like I said, we're in a risk-off environment anyway this week, given all the uncertainty around Delta, China, and a few other bits and pieces. I made a video on that. Please go check that out in terms of the state of the market. I think that would be really useful for you if you're an investor this week, or just investor in general, and want to know what's going on this week. There you have it, guys. Tesla update. I'll see you in the next one.